Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, wanderers of the underworld. And with the Lendard art of Eden Zero finishing, and now us being in the technically first two chapters of the final arc, or at the very least the beginning of the final arc, I think it's time that we go look back and see how Lendard arc has handled its villains, and with the number of villains there, and as colorful as they were, it's important that we discuss and go through all of them. And let's go in the order of which they were defeated or in some cases revealed, if you may. And yeah. So let's start with the first villain who was defeated in this arc, and that was Wizard. And I'll be honest, I feel like Wizard is probably like the one member of the Dark Side that has probably had like the biggest, biggest like hype for him. Like I'm not saying he was the same one like hype as like the you know, or the Orca or Seals Galactica members, but like I feel for other Dark Star he had the biggest hype. So a lot of people, when he was defeated by Shiki relatively early on and quickly, let's be real here, a lot of people were kind of unhappy about it. But to be fair, it didn't make sense why Wizard would be defeated by Shiki. After all, we know the Dark Stars aren't on the same level as the Orca Seals Galactica members. So it makes sense that he would be defeated relatively easily by Shiki, even if his origin was taken away and Wizard was in his Dark Cloak form, whatever. So it does make sense in my opinion on why he was defeated so quickly. But I was really disappointed with how quickly he was defeated. And yeah, he also did kind of start the little like trend with us seeing that the Dark Stars and the Shining Stars have known each other and were related to one another in some form of way. So he was pretty interesting and all that. Now the question is he gonna be rebuilt since we only see him like half his waist be destroyed and then he just kind of vanished. So in theory he could have escaped. I mean, the plan was to eat him, but I mean we know that the true main villain. Also, spoilers for the villains we're gonna get for the arc. Although to be fair, you should probably guess that by now. Kind of like one of those, it's gonna be spoilers. But yeah, anyways, if he escaped on Eden's wands, he might come back. We don't know. I feel like it's very likely, but again, still unknown. Then the next villain that was defeated is Killer. And I'll be honest, I feel like Killer was one of, if not the best handled villains this arc, because his fight with against Wise really shown his threat, really showing him how powerful and dangerous he is. And amongst the old dog stats, I think his defeat was like the most like, or I can see why he was defeated kind of deal. With him, tricks being revealed, found out by Wise and sending to her so she can prepare, and her needing to be in her star dress, as well as an overdrive, as well as using the ship itself as a support to be able to defeat Killer in his base form, mind you, not Dark Cloud, not overdrive, just his base form, is a really good and functional way. Although I do have to wonder why Killer didn't go into his Dark Cloak, since, you'd think he would do it. I mean, you can say it's overconfidence and all that, but again, I feel like he could have gone his Dark Cloak. I mean, I think Wizard confirmed that all the Dark Stars have their Dark Cloak ability, yet only two of them use it. I don't know why that's the case. But regardless, I think Killer was handled really well. And the question is he gonna come back? It's up the air. There are some people who theorize that he might be in Self Hermit, so he might get a new body or maybe take care of her. I'm not. It's kind of difficult to tell. Although by the way Killer sounded, it makes it kind of seem like he was gonna be unable to come back in some form of way. You also have to remember that Killer did get completely destroyed against Jaguar in the War arc. So him blowing himself up does make you wonder if he's really a gun or if there's a way for him to survive. Maybe he before he blew up, like sent his core into Eden's one or something. I don't know. Now, onto Brigadine. Brigadine, he's kind of just the generic combatant, really powerful, maybe physical in terms of just straight up brawling the strongest, but nothing else. It was fun seeing. He was fun to see, and his fight with Hammer was, was very kind of like just a straight up sword v shield kind of fight. Nothing all that special. he honestly just lacks the fact that he doesn't really have anything special on him all that much. His backstory is kind of generic. There's nothing special about him. Just seeing, oh, he and Valkyrie were together. His way of defeating was just he let when he was going for a strike, he had an opening where his defenses were down. So him when her overdrive, not sure if she was combining it with the Stardust stuff. I feel like she probably should have used it against Killer if the combination is possible for her to do it. She was using that to get the slices on Brigadier, although I find kind of funny how all that needed to be an opening was. I guess for him to be this way and not this way. Just kind of funny and to crumble away. So yeah, I do find that kind of funny, but nothing really else. Although I do, but I do wonder if he's going to also become brought back, similar to again he didn't get destroyed that much more than Kill did. So we'll be up to seeing it. And then we have Claw, who's the final member to get defeated. And his defeat, I feel like, was the most BS defeat. Although, to be fair, his defeat may have something to do with his personality and Scissor's personality, but we'll yet to see. So, Killer first, well, Clown first fought Rebecca, where while he was, kind of playing and joking with her, as soon as she, started getting the upper hand, he went to his Dark Cloak immediately, which is something you'd think would happen with the other members of the Red Killer and Brigadier, but for some reason not, and he kind of just, defeated her, split second, as well as Poppy and Pino. And that was pretty cool and all. And then he infiltrated with the DN0 with Killer, and then he kind of was going away to, I guess, get to a different area to get the small solo fight against Sister. Then he kind of outmaneuvered her with his beast, and then he went. When he went to complete the mission, which I think he failed, I'm not certain exactly. I mean, he had a briefcase on, so I feel like he may have seen it in some form of way. But then Sisters show up and stop him. And his defeat I really don't get because all the Dark Stars are supposed to be stronger than the Shining Stars, which I think was even stated by the Shining Stars themselves. So I don't really see how Sister was able to beat him if they were both in their Star Dress outfits. That's a really weird way to defeat, unless there's some kind of personality thing. Is what we're gonna find out in the first chapter or in the final arc, in the final saga, or whatever. So I do find that a little weird, but we'll wait to see. He's the only one of the Dark Side who's still alive and is currently being imprisoned by the crew, so we'll see it. And honestly, going off of his personality, especially how he interacted with Shiki, I feel like he'll be a really fun character to be around. Again, I'm curious on where it's going, especially if Killer is in Hermit. So we'll see on that side. So yeah, now with the Dark Stars out of the way, let's get to the rest of the characters. And I'll be honest, I feel like this is where people are gonna have the biggest problem. Which right now, I feel like it actually goes in a group. You have the Dark Stars as one group who were done well and liked. Then you have the Organosis Galactica members who were done terribly. Then you have Ziggy who's liked, and then we have the final anime who is done horribly. So yeah, anyways, let's get into the Galactica members, and let's first start with Crow. Now, this is the guy who, at the beginning, a lot of people thought he was gonna be the final villain of the arc because he was being built up at the end, and at that time, we all fight's gonna be one Galactica member at a time. We first get Crow, then we have Nox, then we have Noel or something. But unfortunately, we didn't get that, and we had all the Galactica members together at one place. So we had Crow there, and he was kind of just a evil giant titan with debatable self-consciousness because of the plot twist. So yeah, Crow was just kind of destroying everything. There was nothing really special about him. I don't even think his die is fully revealed in the manga. I think it's usually always covered in shadows, except when you get inside of him, where he has this holographic forms or something in his robot or something. But yeah, Go is just kind of the big monster destruction type of thing, with a bit more focus on it, nothing more. He's not bad, but he's nothing special either. What is supposed to be distinct about Crow is that it's the plot twist. Spoiler, like I said, spoilers. Plot twist with him being an invention of Cure. In case you're wondering who Cure is, I don't blame anime reader. I mean, anime watchers who for some reason want to be spoiled. And as for manga readers, I'm assuming you may have known him because he's one of the Interstellar Union members, the guy who looked like the most like a robot of them. Yeah, he was revealed to be behind Core and the one who invented him. And I'll be honest, the whole plot with him really was just kind of forced and kind of like just really speeding things on. And this is like where I feel like people really started to question it because again, like we get kind of this reveal here. Here, this that the cure is actually Crow, which my god, his names could be any more confusing between two. And he was like the one behind everything and all, but he just kind of was there as this like plot twist, which would be an interesting like idea and all, but it just kind of was very rushed. And his reasoning for doing and the reason for everything that we get is that in this world we need good and evil. Interstellar Galactica, we have them be the villains. Interstellar Union will be the heroes. So I have to make them do so we bring these two forces together to like sit there or something to like keep the balance, which I don't know where that comes from. We don't know where does he think. Does he think like the world will fall out of balance if they are not an evil force of an evil force and a good force? But when you actually think about it, his whole thing doesn't even work. Like, alright, so Crow was his invention, and we find out that Draken and Nero also were because of him. Well, or he gave them their overdrive ability, their ether gear abilities, but that's it, that's all we get, which I don't even think a lot of people knew or even or possibilities before. Like, I don't think we ever got anything from Nero that gave us any kind of idea, and I do not think that I think Draken's ability could have been argued, but I don't think it was seen anything that would like suggest like there was some mysterious figure in the background. Like that was really raw forced. And then we get some other members like Ziggy and Akdrak were the only two who were actually like straight up evil from the very get go on their own. Or we'll get into Ziggy, but get go evil. And then we had Nox, who was just given a title. The same goes for Ezra, well, LC and Shiki, who just given the titles because they're not working for the union and stuff like that. So it's like it's not even an evil organization, just you giving the title of evil to anyone who's semi more powerful than the average individual, anyone who's at least more powerful. So yeah, it's kind of feels very weird. And just in general, like the whole thing really didn't go anywhere. We also find out he's like the one who has actively done that horrible thing to Holly, where he killed her sister and everything, and then just leave her naked and strung up. Like that was just kind of there. Although it does make me wonder how that happened. Since of course it's like so John that he like sent the little robots to do it themselves or something. I don't know. But yeah, I do find that whole thing to be really rushed and the biggest. Especially his fight with Holly. That was like literally him just being there, shooting her, revealing that he's the big bad guy, him saying Holly saying he's a bastard. First having an advantage because of the ether blocker ability. But then when she goes and destroys him, she then he uses his ether ability, which is regeneration, and then he just kind of, and then when Jin shows up to help her, he just bails to like I guess take full control of Crow's body, and then just kind of gets blasted and killed off. Like his reveal like was just oh yeah, I guess that's the thing. I mean, it'll be interesting arc, but itself is just kind of feels really like random. Like honestly, I'm kind of wondering if this was supposed to have originally been its own arc. I was just kind of like decided to like take bits and pieces of it and just thrown and call it a day because again, like there was nothing to it. Like there was, I don't think anyone has even like thought there was like this individual who was controlling the background. And yeah, Cure was like really forced. Not to mention we don't even know the rest. Like, alright, so we know, alright, so we know how he planned out with Crow and Holy, and we know Jesse and Elsie and Justice. But what about the rest? Was Eraser supposed to be against Nero? Who was like, supposed to be against Aknoel? Did he have a specific? Did he like give his backstory to a specific the Galactica member? I don't know. It's kind of like random and rushed. Then, before we get to the Aknonuel, we then have to talk about Jesse. Yeah, the douchebag character. Now, Jesse is probably like I would say one of the more funny enough. Funny enough, Jesse could probably be considered the second most like recurring villain of this list. But yeah, Jesse, he was just kind of like the douchebag character. There's nothing really special. He didn't have any kind of power or anything. The only thing we know is that he was a spy who worked for Jesse to take her down, for Elsie who to take her down, but she revealed that she knew everything from the start and was giving her a chance, but then, said when you didn't change or anything, or get any change of plot, you just kicked him out. When then he, I guess, got angry that in fact, he felt so miserable after being so confident, and then just kind of just became full-on member with the Interstellar Union as one. I guess he replaced Kree because he killed him because of a panicky state because he was trying to like prove himself or something. But yeah, then he shows up in the arc and just to be for a chapter to uh, reveal that he was one of the people who survived the whole Lendard war that was started by Elsie. So yeah, he was there for that. But after that, he just kind of made a trap that killed Hugo and Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever those names and the Elsie's top man who are basically supposed to be like Eden Zero versions of Natsu and Gray. He killed those two, but then when he was trying to kill the Eden Zero version of Gray, he was killed by him as well because they kind of took each other out. Well, else his handcuff as well. So yeah, that's just kind of what happened, and yeah, he was just a douchebag. There was nothing. I mean, no one really, I think, hates him that much. Oh wait, the fan base does say him because he's a douchebag character, but like he's not hated because he was handled terribly. It's just like he's a douchebag character who did what he had to do for Elsie's story to conclude. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Jesse. And also, although I do feel like a lot of people are disappointed the fact how his whole thing with his whole thing with blaming Creed's down Humor was kind of just like rushed, with the closest thing to a resolution just being like justice. Thinking about it in retrospect, blaming why would a swordsman try to a Japanese swordsman seducing a man just so she could kill him with a gun wound does not really make sense. I mean, if she was going to seduce him, why not the blade? Like that's it that was really ever addressed there, and I guess justice far above ones, but again, that's it. Nothing special. Then after Jesse, we get Aknuel, who was honestly the biggest disappointment, I would say. Like, she was the one I feel like she had, like, more build up, more training, like, being more important. Not only the fact how long she lasted, but also how, like, Ziggy was talking about her. Not to mention an army of dragons, which is something that the unions were fighting the most around right now, especially at the end. And then when we finally get to, like, to her fight. Like finally, she and Jesse, no more other characters fighting, just those two. Well, her and Justice. No, yeah, her, Justice, Homura, and possibly Elsie because she was being free doing her thing with the whole captor thing. We just kind of, and she finally goes overdrive to fight, and we see her like kicking ass and all, and getting ready for those dragons. Alice just shows up behind her, kills her, reveals that she's the same thing as Fairy Tale, with there's been Irina and Ezra situation, and that's it. I mean, alright, I am pretty sure there were theories beforehand that Akinola might be the same thing as Irene from Fairy Tale, but like that's also kind of quickly revealed. It was similar to Crow. It feels like a lot of these characters were supposed to be like later like their own arcs, but it was just all cramped together and just to be rushed out. And I mean, I get it. Marshall and I not wanting to do two things at once, not wanting to repeat too much of his old work, but the whole Actonel thing was just like really, really rushed. Like it almost kind of feels like he had a plan for Actonel, but then in the last minute he decided to just go with. Actually, I'm just gonna do the same thing I did with Azra and Irene, and then kill her off because who the fuck is? So yeah, no, it's never to have Shield come back, since she seemed pretty definitely dead. I mean, maybe she had like a dragon and she sent conscience to, but it seems like all the dragons were destroyed or deactivated because of Elsie using Morbius. It's honestly kind of similar to her crow thing. He could probably come back if he went on Eden's one's ship or something, but it's unclear. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but so far it doesn't seem to be the case. So yeah, Noel was like probably the biggest waste of a character ever. There actually is a post on Reddit saying uh, how is Showa, someone who isn't even supposed to be on their level, is more of a threat and more threatening than than Crow and Aknoel. And that I guess it's simple fact. They will just randomly revealed and kill them immediately. So yeah, now let's talk about Ziggy, who I feel like has been handled the well, besides Killer, probably handled the second best because his fight with Shiki was very very excited, very emotional, and the reveal that he actually straight up is Shiki, just a different timeline version of him, does make sense, and we all knew this was gonna happen at some point when as soon as the series revealed. Like when you reveal this kind of concept, and you literally have old wise and normal wise be in the same universe, you could have expected something like this. Or this feels a bit weird where Shikigami refers to himself as Grandpa now, but yeah. So we have him in the story and his backstory with how he was how the big change, like real big divider, which is something that's actually been in the the part where Xiona is like, you this will be two paths you'll lead to. Which one will you pick? And then we have this path where he splits into Zeke and all that. It was a really well done scene. And yeah, it was handled pretty well. And also the fact that he says, "Oh, this is my birthday, so let me give you a birthday present, me." So yeah, that was really so yeah, that was very again like a really nice callback. I do think this was planned from the very beginning, although you have to question if there was some changes at the beginning. But regardless, it was done pretty well. His overall drive ability also looked pretty decently cool, though he was saying how he like repaired the helmet thing. And I do feel like he is an opponent with, again, similar to the Dark Stars, it feels like Masha actually did consider how to take him down, not just go his usual power of friendship kind of mentality where they had Shiki or Ziggy just still being in control or pretending that alright, I have Shiki to destroy me and kill me. So I will or make it look like I did that I'm back to being evil, do something very horrible by killing Pino, and then having him knowing how to beat me and then like destroy me. As then we at the end that Shiki is aware that he's pretending like, this is his grandpa. This is the God. This is his. Well, this is the person who raised them. Was very emotional. As even screamed at the end when he was killing him. Do you think I don't know what you're doing, Grandpa? So yeah, that hit really well. Again, it was done well, especially when the whole review, like the emotional points from Ziggy as well as the power leveling as the battles themselves were really handled well. And even though I prefer Killer, I do feel like he was written. I think a lot of people would say Ziggy was handled the best, and I do have to agree on that. Still, was Killer best, but Ziggy was I can see why Ziggy was number one by most people. Now, as for the final villain we'll talk about, and this is, well, kind of the final villain of the whole story, and that's Eden's One, the true enemy, the villain that's been building up to multiple chapters, with pretty much a lot of chapters, with the exception of the ending to Ziggy versus Shiki fight. Besides, who is the main villain? And I'll be honest, the whole Eden's One twist was really, really, really weak. I mean, not because it's not what I was expecting, or my theory. It's like, not even that, it's just like Eden's One? Really? That's like the big final villain. The AI of Eden's One. And again, not weak, and to be fair, we can still see more of Eden's One, since by looks of it does seem like Eden's One has escaped. So, yeah, it's just that Eden's One has been such a non factor in the conversations and when everything was happening. It's kind of difficult to take her serious, taking Eden's One seriously, taking it seriously, because other like Eden's One may have been mentioned a lot by Connor when he said, I'm the part of a ship, and then he had like Eden's One in it. And to be fair, I do feel like Marshall was planning something for Eden's One. But the way it was handled really just felt the final villain is Ian's one's AI. A thing I didn't even fucking know was that advanced. Like I don't think there was a scene in or a page wherever Ian's one's AI was any played by any significant or anything ominous. And I'm not saying it has to be like obvious to us to be good. It's just that you at least want it to be decently done, not just rushed or so just kind of out of nowhere. Honestly, Ian's ones feels less about like a true final villain and more like, oh, the final villain, who will can be on you, and it's Ian's one. No one predicted. How I'm a genius. I mean, to be fair, there's like one person who predicted because of the when there's sheet shot when we see a bunch of the suspects. We see that one, the biggest shot, or the one that was like besides them was I think insides of Eden's one. But again, like this whole thing kind of just reveal, just kind of it's like it's too lackluster. No one really cares about Eden's ones that much, and who knows? Maybe it will change later. But as it stands now, Eden's ones are pretty weak ass final villain, especially since Ian's one. But the thing is, Ian one doesn't even speak after it's revealed. It just emerges from the ground and just starts blasting. And yeah, that's really it. I mean, we'll get a final humanoid form for an actual battle. We'll actually talk. Yeah, probably. I mean, it did reveal they can control a lot of bots with Ziggy, and I'm assuming Darkseid. So to be fair, Darkseid may have worked for it for a while now, and there is some statement about Clown saying, "Is it read that the AI will have a heart or something?" In the newest, well, in the latest English translated chapter, but as it stands, it's kind of difficult to say. So yeah, all in all, I would say the villains of the Lendard were handled halfway good and halfway bad. The Dark Stars and Ziggy were handled, I would say, the best, where the other Galactica members and the final villain handled god awfully, just kind of like twist after twist, kind of like really rushing it, where just being kind of in the middle. But yeah, anyways, those are my thoughts on the villains of Lindard arc. I hope you leave your opinions on these villains in the comments below. What if you think they were handled well or bad? Whatever you want, just tell me in the comments below. And that's it. I cannot wait to see all of you people next time. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. And that's I cannot wait to see all of you people next time. Goodbye.